In Australia, just how David just mentioned this, we had economists looking for another trade surplus, but the country came out with a deficit instead. Let's get straight over to Shraysi, and she's over in Sydney, Shraysi Tandon. Shraysi, what went wrong?
Good morning, Rish. Well, it is a shocking number we're seeing today, Rish. As you said, economists were predicting for a trade surplus. This is the first trade deficit we've had in 11 months, $673 million. Now, the key reason for this, Rish, is a decline in our exports. That's an 8% decline we've seen over the last month, the biggest export decline we've seen since 2009, so in almost over 3 years, Rish. And now here's what really led to this trade deficit number. We saw iron ore figures slump by 23%, petroleum exports slumping by 18%, and copper exports were down 40% for January, Rish. Material exports to China on a whole were down by $1.6 billion. Now, China is our largest trading partner. Asia accounts for 2/3 of our export. Europe, of course, accounts for 8% of our export. Now, what we really saw in January, Rish, with the European Union, we saw a huge contraction in a lot of the EU economies, driven by, of course, the debt crisis. China, of course, growth moderating. And a seasonal factor, we saw Chinese New Year happen in January, of course. Business and trade is naturally slow around that period, Rish. But in addition to that, we also saw the poor weather conditions here in Australia, rains across Queensland, as well as floods, really impacting our coal, iron ore, and copper shipments and delaying all of the above. So, Rish, all of that leading to this shocking trade deficit number we see here today.
Shraysi, just 3 days now of pretty poor data coming through. Is the pressure on the Reserve Bank now to do something about the cost of borrowing?
Absolutely. The pressure is mounting. And you know what, Rish? It's really important to state that the Reserve Bank doesn't look at just one individual piece of data. It has to be a collective data. And now we've seen a slew of really bad data coming out this week, from poor current accounts to poor GDP to poor unemployment figures, and today, of course, trade deficit. So all of this combined really serves as the smoking gun for the RBA to cut rates next month and to really move away from its 2-month rate pause. Rish, of course, we're known for our 2-speed economy, so pressure is on Glenn Stevens to finally do something about it, lest we become a no-speed economy.
Thank you, Shraysi Tandon there. Now,